in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, Southwest Florida. We are so delighted that you have tuned in to another Connect wherever you find yourself this evening. And we are so excited about Dr. Mark Means, our Means Family Chiropractic here in North Fort Myers, that gives you some practical advice how to take care of your health. Thank you for your continued support of your Christian television network. Well, I'd like to welcome to the set my chiropractor and a good dear friend of mine, Pastor and Dr. Mark Means, here to the set, man.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so thankful you invited me here today.
Yeah.
And we've been around Fort Myers since I was 10 years old, back in 1970.
Wow.
So we know a lot of folks in the area. And I just want to let them know, whoever may be watching, that remember, that television camera does add 10 pounds. So some of them are probably going to think I might need to do a little bit of jogging, but I assure you I'm still fit. But yes, we're glad to be here. Glad to be here.
You're still fit, and you do a great job, Dr. Mark, and you always seem to make people laugh, but you know your stuff. You've been doing chiropractic care over 30 years now.
In Fort Myers,
In
sure.
Fort Myers. And tell us a little bit about your chiropractic care, where you're located, your team, and why chiropractic care is so important, because there's so many myths out there. I remember I never really went to chiropractor until I came out here to Southwest Florida, and I saw how it helped my mom, and I just said, you know what, and you know, I love what you say. You can get drugged to death or adjusted for life. And,
absolutely, absolutely.
And I love the fact that you're a pastor, so you understand the biblical perspective. So we're going to shed some light on that. But tell us a little bit about Means Family Chiropractic and where you're located, and then we'll get into why it's so important.
Started the chiropractic office in 1982, and we've been there ever since. I was there a couple of years, and then was joined with my brother, Dr. Rick Means, that's a chiropractor. And we were on Pondella Road. We moved for a few years to North Fort Myers. It was by an ice cream shop, and we were there for a number of years. And then we always had the dream to build our own building, to have a nice place for folks to come. And on 150 Pondella Road, between the 41s, we built a chiropractic office 20 years ago, coming up in October.
Wow.
That we've been there, and have had the opportunity to see many thousands, literally, of lives changed throughout. And chiropractic is important. A lot of times we hear people talk, I'll hear them say, you know, I don't believe in it, or I believe in chiropractic. First of all, it's not a religion. That's not what it is at all. So it's not a matter whether someone believes or doesn't believe. But chiropractic has to do with making sure our bodies are functioning as God intended, as they were created. The United States of America, we used to give health talks at our office years ago, and we're about to start them back up on a weekly basis. But I researched on the national average and on the nation, and as far as the world is concerned, years ago, 10, 15 years ago, it was 23 we were on the list, and then it was 32. And I looked it up this morning on the internet, that old good Google search.
Yeah.
And when I looked it up right now, in the world, the United States, perhaps the most technologically advanced nation in the world, a powerhouse, we're 37 on the list for health. 37. As far as life expectancy, as far as we are 37 sick nation above all of them. And what that means, basically, 37 on the list.
Sick nation.
And what that
Sickest
means,
nation on the face
yeah,
of it.
what that
Wow.
means is something in how we're handling our health issues, it's not working. It's not working.
Wow.
Up till now, and by the way, this has nothing to do with putting down anything that has to do with the medical profession at all. But the sad thing is, most folks, when there's something wrong with their bodies, instead of looking for the cause, they reach out for pills, and we reach out for medications to alter and change the function of our body. They're not breathing right, we take something to open up our breathing passages. What that means is our bodies can do it, it's just not doing it. Something's changed. We at our office, we had a little poster years ago. It said, if you have a healthy person and you give them medication, what would happen? Well, they'd probably get sick. And yet, when we're sick, we think taking that medication is what's going to make us well.
Wow.
And that's not the case. Medicine, again, is important in some aspects, but the problem is we reach to that first.
Yeah.
That's not how God set this whole thing up. It's not at all. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Now, we all know that, Genesis 1:1.
That's good.
He made everything. Everything. The last thing he did, all the creepy crawly things, all germs, viruses, he made it all. The last thing he did was create us in his image. And if you'll read, and I'm sure you know and the viewers know, he made us to have dominion over everything. Dominion. Yeah. That little germ that I can't even see with my eye, no way in the world that thing should be able to whoop me. And excuse the southern terms, whoop.
No, I
could use some fancy terms.
Yeah,
but the point I'm getting to, no way that's supposed to be able to overtake me. Yeah. When he created us, as you mentioned earlier, 3 John 2, he wished above all things for us to be in health and prosper. Yeah. He made my bodies, when he created it, we've got an immune system. We have what's referred to as an innate intelligence. That's the God within that runs and controls every single thing in our body. And it is made to be healthy. The point is, if we are not healthy and someone has a health issue somewhere along the line, our bodies have been changed and we are no longer like we were created. Something's changed.
That's good.
How were we created? Very simple. Our bodies function, and it's real simple. All the things in the Bible, complicate or seem complicated, but the things that are of truth are very simple. Even our salvation. You believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, you're saved. Yeah. The world can complicate it all they want, but they miss in the boat.
Come on, even the church world.
Absolutely. And it's the same way with our bodies. God made our bodies real simple. In fact, he likened the functioning of our bodies to our spiritual life. He said in the Bible that our spiritual life is just exactly how our body works.
Come on.
Spiritually, we need to be connected to the head, and that's the Lord Jesus Christ.
That's good.
As long as we are, we will be healthy spiritually. But as you know, we're not supposed to be entangled again with the yoke of bondage. We're not supposed to be walking in dark. We're supposed to be walking in the light as he is in the light.
Yeah.
But sometimes we get, like the prodigal, end up in the pig's pen. We get off track sometimes. And what happens is, we don't lose our salvation, but we get out of fellowship with him.
That's so good.
We're no longer at ease with our Heavenly Father, and we're out of fellowship, and we don't get to enjoy the blessings that he intended for us. But he said, your spiritual life is like your body.
Wow.
It has to be connected to the head. See, he enlightened us of how our bodies are supposed to function.
Yeah.
And when he created us, remember, he breathed into us the breath of life. And I don't understand why all chiropractors aren't Christians, because we have an understanding that health comes from above down, inside out. It doesn't come from the outside in.
Yeah.
Above down, inside out. And the way he created us, we have a brain and nervous system. The head. Remember, he says spiritual life, the body has to be connected to the head. The head, that's where our brain and nervous system is. Yeah. That's what runs and controls every single function in our body. Yeah. And it doesn't do it by radio waves. In other words, right now, someone at their home, they're picking up this television station. We drive down the road, we pick up radio stations. We're not connected by wires. We're picking up through the air. Our body doesn't work that way. Brain doesn't send out little waves that our heart picks up. It actually has to be connected by wires or nerves.
That's good.
And along this nerve, it comes from the brain down the spinal cord, and in between each of our vertebrae, the nerves go out to every single part of us.
It's connected to every part of our fiber of our being.
Every part. Yeah. It is in control. And as long as there's no interruption to that nerve supply, our bodies should function right. But it doesn't. I mean, we're way down on the totem pole. If something's not working, my brain knows how to run my stomach. If my stomach's not working right, something's kinked somewhere. And that's in basic terms. Your spine, these vertebrae, because they move, they have an opportunity, or there's a potential that they can misalign. And a misalignment of one of those vertebrae could put pressure on a nerve. And chiropractors refer to that, and it's an important thing, as a subluxation. And what a subluxation is a bone out of place, putting pressure on a nerve to the point where it chokes that nerve. When you choke something, you interfere with transmission. You choke something long enough, it dies. And anytime this occurs in the body, pressure on that nerve, wherever that nerve goes to, can't function right.
That's why it's important to get adjusted, right?
Absolutely, because you don't know whether that's there. I can squeeze your wrist, this doesn't hurt you. But right now I'm causing harm because I'm choking some life off to your hand. And in a few minutes, if I keep this up, no pain, these fingers will tingle, your hand will go numb.
The blood circulation.
This is in the blood circulation. I keep this up for 5 to 10 years. Over time, this hand is going to lose function to the point where it might not even work anymore. The only chance this has to be healthy is the release of pressure. And that's the problem. When there's pressure on these nerve supplies, not the blood, but on the nerve supply, that chokes life off. If that goes to your stomach, sooner or later you're going to have problems.
So everything's connected from the head down, like you said.
Everything.
Yeah.
And if anything disrupts, it's like, can you hear me now? You're going to lose communication. And when that happens, that part of the body that nerve innervates is no longer at ease. It will be at dis-ease or diseased. And it's going to be lowered function. And that is then, once that lowered function takes place, that's when disease processes can set in. So what's the answer? It's not reaching for the pills. When your smoke alarm goes off, a fire is causing that. You would never think to wake up and clip the wires to your smoke alarm. You're going to put the fire out. I'm driving down the road, my engine starts clanging and making noises. I'm not going to turn the radio up so I don't hear it. And so many times, again, not putting the medical profession down because we need them oh so much.
Sure.
What's called a limitation of matter. Sometimes our bodies can get so bad that it can't come back and it needs some assistance. But we're talking about with the majority of the health conditions that people reach out. Just like in our spiritual life, so many times we're out of fellowship with God and people reach out to other things to try to satisfy.
Yeah, that's good.
Instead of reaching out to Him.
That's good.
Well, it's not supposed to be that way. And that means that it only pacifies. It never satisfies. So you can put a pacifier in a little baby's mouth. Oh, that may settle him down for a little bit, but after a while he's going to figure out, I wanted some milk, I wanted some food, and it's not going to satisfy anymore, and then he's back to having a time of need. It's the same thing that people reach out to different medications. And when they do, and it doesn't work, grandma, she can't sleep. So she goes to her doctor and she gets a sleeping pill. Feels a little, helps her sleep. But that slowed her bowels down a little bit. So then has to get something to help the bowels. Well, that raised her pressure a little bit. Well, then they had to give her something for her pressure. Well, that changed on her. Next thing you know, grandma's on 5 medications because she couldn't sleep. Because it wasn't the answer. When something's wrong with the body.
It wasn't the root.
The root of the problem.
Yeah.
So with chiropractic, when someone comes into our office, understanding how it works, so simple. I'm having breathing problems. What do I need to do? Brain runs it. The breathing's not working right. Something's kinked. Something's subluxated somewhere. Right now, if your fuse panel, if you have one of your circuits tripped, you go there and it's number 22 air conditioner. You don't have to look. You don't have to wonder. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that that circuit's tripped. Your air conditioner is not running now, and you can do anything and everything you want to it. It doesn't even have a chance to function right till you turn the power back on. And that's what chiropractic does.
Wow.
When someone comes into our office, look for the cause of the problem. Thomas Edison, he wasn't a dummy. He was a genius. You got to agree. I mean, Fort Myers, you know, where his winter home.
Yeah.
He said, one of his quotes was, the doctor of the future will not give medications, but will interest his patients in the care of the human frame and in diet for the cause and prevention of disease. He knew something. The human frame, the skeletal system.
Can you say that again?
Somewhat paraphrased, it might not be exact,
Yeah.
that the doctor of the future won't give medicines, but will interest his patients in the care of the human frame and in diet, eaten properly, for the cause and prevention of disease.
Wow.
Hippocrates, known as the father of medicine, okay? Back in ancient times, you know what he said?
Yeah.
Look to the spine for the cause of disease. Look to the we look everywhere else. We think that the answer is outside in when it's inside out. Once again, the same as our spiritual. So the awesome thing about chiropractic, what I love, and as you can tell, get excited about it, is when someone comes in our office with a health issue. See, they're coming in, my neck hurts. They're wanting to get cracked. My back hurts. Oh, no. We have the understanding that if there's pressure on that nerve, that is choking life off. They are not all that God intended them to be health-wise.
To reach their potential, you know, and you see the contact information on the screen. Keep that up, Rick. I just can't, you know, in your lower thirds and stuff, I can't exhort our viewers enough to make sure and get connected with you, because, you know, there are a lot of great chiropractors, a lot of great doctors, and I love what you said even to me, that doctor doesn't necessarily, we'll get into what doctor means.
Sure.
But it's so important that you have someone that knows their stuff, over 30 years of experience. But I kind of cut you off, but I just wanted them to make sure they can call you, because you're there to help people, and that's what you're doing, educating people so you can help them. So go ahead.
And even if they don't call me, it doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter. I'm not the magic man.
Right.
They can call any chiropractor, and if he's given chiropractic adjustments, I know some of them get into all this other stuff, and some electrocute, and some you know, are plumbers, and some do different other things. But bottom line, chiropractic is checking the spine. and finding out.
Make sure they know their stuff, though.
Absolutely. And checking the spine. When someone comes to our office, most of the time we will take pictures of their spine x-rays, because what we're looking for is that cause. Put the fire out. The alarm will take care of itself.
Yeah.
So we're not here to rub. We're not here to massage. So many times people come out, you got a massage person, or do you sell vitamins? All those things are nice and help somebody. But bottom line is, when you release pressure on a nerve,
root of it.
When God made us, they have found, the scientists, even what's called a trophic supply that flows along that nerve. When you take pressure off a nerve, when you remove a subluxation, you turn someone's life and power back on. That's a priceless thing. I mean, it's not a $35 adjustment or an $80 adjustment. You are restoring. That's a priceless thing, because when that pressure is removed, that body now gets to start heading back towards its optimal health, to become all that it can be. Once again, there's limitation in matter, and sometimes things can happen. You can't get it all back, but you can sure be the best that it can be. That's why when someone's with cancer, we don't say, come in, we cure cancer. That's not the case at all. But if there's a cancer in a body, if there's a breathing problem, if there's a heart problem, since I've been pastor at the Bayshore Community Chapel, had an opportunity to do more visiting in hospitals.
Sure.
And it is sad. All ages. As I walk down the hallway to see someone, I look in the rooms, all the people there. What's in my mind is, could that have been avoided? Could they have done something? Could they have handled their health issues differently to not be there?
Yeah, preventative maintenance.
Absolutely. Maybe not, but maybe they could have. And so that's why we push. We see little babies. We have little infants that come in, because even the birthing process, when the head comes out, you watch the films as they pull and they twist, you can cause something to misalign and to subluxate even at birth. When you've got a sick child, wait, God made them to be healthy. If they're sick, the first thing, besides the medical care, obviously, if we're in a medical emergency, just like every office, what do they say? If this is an emergency, dial 911. Right, so we're not talking that, but we're talking some other health issues, and the majority of health issues. The first thing to do, make sure you're plugged in. Someone told me a story a long time ago.
Got all your circuits on, all aligned.
Someone told me a story a long time ago. I got a television doesn't work. Take it to the television repairman. What's it matter? It won't even turn on. He's there 3 hours. He takes it apart, every tube, every transistor, finds nothing wrong, puts it all back together, and it seems to be running fine. I show up at the place 3 hours later, and he says, hey, it's working fine. I said, what'd you do? He said, I didn't do anything. I checked it out. I spent 3 hours on this thing, put it all together, plugged it in, and it worked. I said, you plugged it in? And he looked at me and says, you got to be kidding me. I said, I didn't know you had to plug it in. Now, that may be a silly story, but so many of us, when there's a health issue, once again, we start reaching out to things. Why don't we make sure we're plugged in first?
That'll preach spiritual.
Turn your power back on. Make sure your power's on. And that's the other thing so many times I don't think people realize is it's the symptom that heals us. You know, we want to find the cure for the common cold. No, we don't. We don't. See, those cold symptoms, that's actually what's getting us better. People don't like the symptoms, so we take medicine to try to get rid of them. No, no, no. I eat some bad food. I throw up. That's my body. I'm not even sick, am I? Because my body's functioning normally. Thank the Lord I'm throwing up.
Yeah.
Okay? That's my body. That's how He made me. I don't need to take something for that. That's what's supposed to happen. I breathe in something. We talked about the germ. My body's to have dominion. If it's functioning at its optimal 100%, I have the best opportunity to not need antibiotics, but to be able to fight that off myself as God intended. So my body, what will it do? It'll raise its temperature. Oh, we better take something for the fever. Well, hang on a minute. Hang on. My normal heart rate, 60, 70 beats a minute. But if I run 2 miles and come back in, you feel my pulse. If I'm out of shape, it might be 120, 140. Okay, what's wrong with me? Nothing. It's supposed to be high. I better take a medicine for that. Oh, I better not. That's going to cause me harm. It's supposed to be high. It's there for a reason. Thank goodness. I need more oxygen. I need more blood supply. When will it go down? When my body catches up. See, that's not sick. I breathe in a certain germ. My defense mechanism goes to fight it off, so it raises its temperature. I better take something for that low-grade fever. I better not. My body did that to fight it off, to kick into high gear, and I'm going to think I know better, and I'm going to lower that. Obviously, we're not talking, once again, 105, 106, something severe. Once again, dial 911. But we're talking with the majority of times, when my kids would get a fever, we was applauding, because I knew their bodies were functioning right, and we monitored it. Okay? That's the body kicking. We're coughing. I better give my child something for the cough. He was up all night. Well, let him be up 2 nights, because with every cough, that's your body getting rid of what's in, that's the natural workings. I don't need to take something for my itchy, scratchy, nosy, runny so I can sleep medicine.
Yeah.
Allow my body to function, to get over it. I give something lower. No wonder our kids stay so sick.
Yeah.
And once they start down that path of the medications, they're on it from then on.
Yeah.
Okay. So once again, chiropractic, that's why I get excited. It's allowing the body, taking the pressure off, to function at its 100%. And you don't know what it can fix. I've been amazed, 30 years, things that I would have never thought. When someone comes into my office, once again, my neck hurts, I got a headache, my leg, I tell almost every single person this: go home, take a piece of paper out, leave it on your counter. Write down anything that's wrong with you. Don't care what it is. Sometimes I get short-winded, write it down. Certain foods I eat, I get a little heartburn, write it down. I get hemorrhoids twice a year, doesn't matter. Write it down. Set it on the table. A day or so, because you'll think of things sitting on the couch. And if you start looking at that, don't get depressed, but those are all signs that my body is not functioning properly. Then I say fold it up and throw it in a drawer somewhere, don't want to see it. You go to a doctor and he don't even want to know what's wrong with you. Here's the cool thing. I don't need to know in a lot of aspects of what we're talking here. Now, once again, I know someone right now saying, well, what about diagnosis? That's not what we're referring to. I hope you're getting the concept here.
Yeah.
Okay, instead of trying to nitpick every little aspect.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting to is this. Right now, Paul, if you have a cut on your shoulder, I can't see it, I don't know. It will heal whether I know about it or not. Because our bodies, God made us to heal ourselves, to fix ourselves if we're functioning properly.